Alright, so in today's video, we'll be talking about the original Xbox Project Stellar mod, as well as the HDMI mod that it comes with. I don't know if it ships completely together, but I got them together, so let's get into it. Alright, so I finally got my Xbox modded with the Stellar project, and I was really looking forward to this, as it pretty much opens up the Xbox completely, where you don't have to run stock, so that you can actually hard mod the original Xbox rather than trying to soft mod it and in some other ways. As well as there were hard mods before, but they're kind of expensive that I've heard about, as well as kind of hard to get at this point. And this one seems to be more open, and they're wanting to sell it more and more. So I will leave a link down in the description for both the actual website for the people behind, I think it's called Make Megahertz. I can get that wrong, but I'll put that down in the description, as well as Castlemania link, as I do have an affiliate link and a code for that, so you might be able to get a discount using my code, or you can help out the channel if they have it in stock. I'm gonna link to it, but they're not in stock at the current time of filming this, so it's probably just easier to go through the actual website of Make Megahertz to get it. Hope I'm saying that right. And so that's probably the easiest way to get it right now. Make sure that you know which motherboard you have, as I have the 1.6 motherboard, so I had to get a special kit, I believe, and it just comes with a different cable, versus the 1 to 1.5 motherboard revisions have a different setup, so they send you a different little ribbon cable that you have to solder in. There is soldering, but if you've been following this channel, I'm not that experienced with soldering, and I was able to do it. Got it working first try. I had some other issues that we'll go into in a little bit that I think weren't related to the project at all. It was just me being kind of stupid, as well as maybe some of the issues with the FTP on the Project Stellar. So I'll get into that a little bit later on, but it wasn't that difficult. It might be easier if you only do the Project Stellar mod, as it's just the soldering of the pins that are on the motherboard, so that's not very complicated. The more complicated part for me was the HDMI mod. That is optional, you don't need it, but it is nice to have. Makes it HDMI, makes it really work with the Project Stellar, especially if you get the new one. If you have the old Xbox HD Plus, that's not the Project Stellar one, it does work. There's a whole cable, I believe, that you have to get, and they sell that on the site as well. So that all works together. So first of all, I do like how much they are trying to make this modular, as well as making it work with older stuff that they did sell already, as I find that a lot of these mods seem kind of be like stuck in place where you can't really upgrade it. The Project Stellar board itself seems to have some expansion slots they're not using currently. I believe they also mentioned that previously, that you are able to, down the road, if they come out with other stuff that they want to do, attach different things to the Project Stellar board so that you can have more functionality. And they're always updating it. They're working on a 1.1 release right now, and they've been releasing pretty rapidly to get things working and get things stable with different types of issues that now the boards are actually in customers' hands, getting that all updated. So the first thing is the HDMI port. I do like what they brought with it. I'll give you guys a close-up in a second, probably as I'm talking here, of what it looks like. I enjoy how they actually made it set up, as a lot of these mods are like you have to go into the case and cut it open and all of this, but they actually made it work with the already configured case, where they just gave you a 3D printed, I think it's 3D printed, little accessory to just put where the port is for the component cables, and now it's HDMI. So that was really easy. The installing the board, there's a lot of soldering involved, kind of a finicky thing if you're not very advanced with soldering. I had issues with it. It took me a lot longer than I expected. I did it over a weekend. This is actually being filmed probably about a week after actually doing this, as I had some issues, mostly, again, not with Project Stellar, but it did take me like 2 days to do the entire process. It was spanned out, so probably altogether, I want to say it was probably 4 to 8 hours, probably close to 6. Not exactly sure. I didn't time myself. I just took breaks, didn't want to get too frustrated. So if you're new to soldering, it can be frustrating at first, as you have to just try to learn what you're doing, and there's not a lot of guides that I've noticed. It is kind of hard to show and emphasize how soldering works. I've seen some great videos, but again, it's harder when you're not looking at the exact video that you're trying to do. As well as Project Stellar, they don't have the video of 1.6 motherboards. They have it for the other install. So not a nitpick at all. I understand that they had to work with what they have, and they probably more widespread 1.0 to 1.5 is probably the more widespread motherboard. I just didn't have that one. Again, not a nitpick. I love the project. I'm 100% supported on it. I do think that it's very early days, so if you are not interested in the headaches or trouble that it could have by doing this, if you run into any issues, there is the amazing Discord, and they try to help as much as possible. But if it's a very nitpicky or very specific issue to you, it's kind of hard to get any advice on that. I ended up finding it through multiple people giving me suggestions, and so it's kind of just a try everything and see if something works. So if you're not interested in that DIY kind of feel of a project, this is probably not it yet. I think that maybe 2.0, 3.0 version might actually be a great product for anyone, and hopefully they can figure out ways of reducing the amount of solder that you need to do, but some of that is just out of their hands, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people that will do it for you if you want to pay for that. And overall, I've had a really fun time making this mod. I didn't make the whole usual drop down look of installing it, as I knew this would be a little bit more complicated, and I just didn't want to spend that much time filming to just have it sped up and show you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you guys prefer that way. I kind of just prefer the talking after the fact, and now that I've given my feedback of just the project itself, it's a little note. Issues I did run into was trying to figure out what was wrong with the dashboard that was on my Xbox, and it seems to be still an issue. I'm not 100% sure, so please let me know down in the comments if you have run into this. As I was trying to change the DNS settings inside the console to connect to the new Xbox Live alternative. I'm gonna put the name up on the screen. I'm not gonna butcher it because I don't remember it offhand. That was kind of difficult as it kept resetting to auto and not giving me the ability to set it to the DNS that is needed for connecting to the new service. So I don't know if that's the built-in dashboard has a problem with that. I'm not 100% sure on that. So that's mostly what my problem was trying to get that working, and then I kind of messed up the install. So it wasn't really Project Stellar that was the problem. It definitely was me messing around with things on the hard drive through FTP and it not working the way I thought, at least. And so I ended up getting an adapter, and I'll link that down in the description, as well as using the specialty software that I also link down in the description, as that is only the way you can plug it into a Windows machine and actually read the hard drives that are in here. You do need to make sure that you get a few steps beforehand, which Project Stellar helps with, as there's a hard drive key, I believe, that you have to get, and you have to enter that to be able to actually use the software to change things that are actually on the hard drive. So just look out for that. I don't know if I should make a video on that. It's a really cool software. It also works with 360, and I think it was originally made for the 360, but they've kind of incorporated original Xbox as well into that software, and it's not free. It is currently free if you use the beta, which you'll need for original Xbox, but it is a $25 fee for a license, which I don't think is that bad. You can also get a free version that doesn't have all the features, and pretty much, but I would at least try it beforehand and then buy a license and support the developer for doing this amazing project, as well as the Project Stellar. Again, links are down in the description, so go check those out. I have had a great time with this. I'm excited to see what they do with all the new updates. I've seen a lot of things for like hardware partitioning, like the other software is for Windows. They're going to do it directly on the Xbox, so that's really cool. as that's a lot of big features if you're going to change the hard drive. I'm leaving this stock for now, but I might change it in the future, as I think that'd be kind of cool. And I'll probably buy a different Xbox and keep it stock. I do like having stock ones. I have a few that I've done that with GameCube. I actually have a modded and a stock version, and I want to keep that up with all of them. So I'll probably get another Xbox. These guys are just really heavy, and I haven't done it yet. But everything else has been really good. It all works. It's playing great. It's a Project Stellar, if I didn't mention before, is a BIOS change, so it actually is changing the underlying software that boots into the Xbox dashboard. So they had to recreate the entire thing to make this work. So much appreciated for Project Stellar. I'm excited to see what they have in the future. And like this video if you liked it, dislike if you don't. Hit the subscribe button, do all of that. Make sure you actually subscribe here, as we are going live here now rather than Twitch. So make sure you turn the bell notification on. You get notified when we go live as well. And look down on the links for socials and affiliate links and a bunch of other stuff down in the description. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.